Today's activity is creating graphs. So if you take a look at the Google Doc in your Google Classroom, it says now that you've practiced creating data tables, it's time to learn how to use Google Sheets to create a graph. Watch the following videos to learn how to create different types of graphs. So if you take a look, number one is the spreadsheet 3, which you already viewed yesterday. I just need you to watch the last few seconds. Um, you're not going to make a pie graph today, but it's a pretty short video. I would watch it because there's some hints on how to make some edits. Line graph, we'll tend to use line graphs, but number 4 is primarily what we're going to use is creating bar graphs. So make sure you watch 4, and I would watch the end of 1 and maybe skim through 2 and 3. Okay, once you watch the videos, then it's time to start the activity. So what you're going to do is you're going to open the Google sheet that you made yesterday called Practice. You're going to make sure that you're on the first sheet that says Light at the bottom. And what you're going to do is you're going to highlight the first 3 columns and all the rows. Then you're going to click on the icon, chart icon, and that is not in this document, so I can't show you. The videos you watch will show you. The computer is going to generally choose the correct chart that it interprets your data to need, but I would always double check it. This one, we're going to make sure it's a column chart. The next bullet says make sure you have a title that makes sense. The computer will default a title that will not make sense. You need an x-axis and a y-axis that is labeled. Depending on what you highlighted in your chart that you made yesterday, those labels may or may not come in. And decide if you need a legend. Sometimes you don't need a legend, and oftentimes the computer will generate one regardless, so you may have to delete it. The next bullet says, note, your title and X and Y axis needs to be capitalized. Those are titles, those are headings. So you've now made your chart. It's a column chart. You made sure you have a title, x-axis, y-axis is labeled. You make sure that everything is spelled correctly. You made sure that things are capitalized. And you're going to click on your chart and just kind of drag it off to the side a little bit so you can see your data, because we now need to make a second chart. Okay? So here's what you're going to do for your second chart. You're going to hold down your control key. It's on the bottom left-hand side of your keyboard. It says CTRL. You're going to hold it down, and then with your right hand, you're going to use your mouse pad, and you are going to highlight the first and the last column only, and then release. So you should have, you should be able to just highlight those columns, and the other columns should be empty, should not be highlighted. Okay. Once those are highlighted, you're going to click the icon chart again. Your computer will probably choose a column chart. If it doesn't, you go over and choose it. Again, you're going to make sure that you have a title that makes sense. X and Y axis is labeled. You're going to decide if you need a legend or not. And you're going to make sure your title and X and Y axis is capitalized. Okay? So on page 1 of your practice, you'll have your light data, and you'll have 2 different column charts. One is going to be your averages, and one is going to be just your data. Now we're going to go through the same process again, but we're going to move over to your music tab at the bottom. So go down to the bottom. It should be the second page. It says music, and you're going to go through the same process again. These bullet points are your directions. So, if you are having a hard time and there's too much text here, then maybe just highlight the one you're working on. And then when you're done, turn off the highlight. And then go to the next one and highlight that one. So make sure you do each of the bullets, preferably in order. It's oftentimes easier. These are your directions. If you don't understand what these directions are, then go back up and watch the video number 1 and the video number 4 and see if that helps clarify anything. Okay? Those are the directions for Tuesday, November 17th, creating graphs activity.